there's another theory in genetics, right? Both of these, they break down when you help people that you're not related to. Now, the claim that this is an evolutionary hangover, I want you to justify that claim, because you're just you're adding a label to a mystery.
What evidence can I give you that would make you agree with it?
Well, you'd have to give some genetic evidence.
Genetic evidence? I'm talking
You're speaking about genes, correct?
I'm talking about hangovers of evolution. These things exist in our genes.
Sir, you study genetics, right? Does natural selection work at genetic level?
Yes.
Okay, it does. So doesn't that mean that every single social aspect of our behavior has to be explicable in terms of survival and reproduction?
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that. It does not mean that.
Sir, even if you call it an evolutionary byproduct, fundamentally it has to be survival and reproduction. Correct?
Why?
Because you just said it a minute ago.
No, I didn't. I'm answering your question.
You said it was an evolutionary hangover.
I said altruism is an evolutionary hangover. I didn't. Now you're saying every single behavior in human history.
No. Okay.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to fall into your traps of semantics.
Okay.
I'm not silly.
Okay.
I'm not. So you can answer my question.
Okay. Altruism is
altruism
is the evolutionary hangover.
Yes.
Okay. How do you know that?
What do you mean? How do I know that? I don't know the answer. What did you? I would like to hear from him.
Wait, don't go to him. Don't go to him.
I said, what evidence would you hear?
Get to that?
What evidence? Because I'm well read on the topic. What evidence would you have? What evidence would you hear? What would be okay for you? Because my explanation was okay for you before.
Okay.
Why isn't my explanation okay?
I want you to give me a testable hypothesis which shows.
Hypothesis?
Yeah, you came.
You're talking about anti-evolutionary behavior when you're not talking about testable hypotheses.
Okay. Wait, hang on a second. Raising your voice doesn't improve your argument.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
You agree with that? That's fantastic. So let me just make a claim, and I want you to shoot it down if I'm wrong. This claim of yours, that altruism is explicable by Darwinian processes, is challenged by evolutionary biologists.
Not good saying that the scientific community writ large is not accepting it, which actually isn't true.
Wait, hang on.
I think your conclusion, I have less of a problem with that than I do with your overall conclusion that one little part of it's false, therefore all of it's wrong. And that's just simply not true, okay? Because you can't provide me anything that's an alternative that provides more of the data and explains more of it. You're basically being like a god of the gap, so to speak. So there's
no, it's not.
Hole that maybe a few people disagree with, therefore it falls under.
Okay. Do you know what? It's not this at all. Do you believe, what alternatives are you aware of to Darwinian evolution?
To explain what?
All the data of evolution.
Sorry, are you asking me what is the best explanation of evolution? Darwinian.
What are the alternatives to the Darwinian mechanism of evolution? By natural selection.
Alternatives for creation of the earth, you mean? Or what do you mean by alternatives?
We have the process of evolution.
Yes.
Right? That process has different mechanisms. Right? So you believe that the scientific community at large, in your own words, they accept the Darwinian evolution. Yes. Right? What alternatives are you aware of?
Well, I'm aware of like creationism and other religious.
There you go. Yeah. Forget that for now. What naturalistic alternatives are you aware of?
I'd like to hear from them.
Okay. There's evolution and all of these were put together by evolutionary biologists who are atheists. They don't believe in intelligent design. They don't believe in creationism. They don't believe in anything like that. And they've taken the same data and they've come up with a different interpretation. Evolution by natural genetic engineering, put together by James Shapiro. Neo-Lamarckian evolution, which is put together by Eva Jablonka. Neo-mutationism, put together by Masayoshi Nai from Japan. Lynn Margulis, symbiotic evolution in terms of alternatives, not the origin of eukaryotic cells. And evolution by self-organization, put together by Stuart Kauffman. All of these guys are atheists, and they don't believe natural selection explains biodiversity and human behavior.
So what conclusion are you drawing from that?
My conclusion is, this is something not set in stone. Darwinian evolution. It's not something set in stone.
But evolution is though, but it's not Darwinian evolution. Is that what you're saying?
Evolution has many different meanings.
Yeah,
right?
You're just telling me 6 of them.
No. These are models. There's a difference.
Yeah.
There's two things here. Whenever we look at evolutionary theory, there's two particular parts of evolutionary theory. There is a history, a phylogenetic reconstruction they try and make, and there is a mechanism by which that phylogenetic reconstruction took place. Okay? Now, in terms of the mechanism of evolution, we have many different alternatives. In terms of the history of life, Lamarck, who published his book decades before Darwin, he believed in multiple origins and parallel lines of evolution, and he believed in progression, right? Charles Darwin, he believed in universal common descent. Okay? Now, I don't accept any of them, because all science can do is give you workable models which are then false.